been some of your challenges with building? I know you're on the other side. You're a successful company now. You're thriving. But what was it like building along the way for you?
Yeah, I mean, every step up, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 3 steps
Girl,
forward, 2 steps back.
Talk about it.
Yeah, so
right?
every point that you grow, it takes a lot out of you.
Hello, and welcome to the Leadership Reality Podcast with your girl, Taiji Charity. This podcast is for C-suite leaders to discuss their experiences and provide insight, encouragement, and inspiration for seasoned and inspiring leaders, offering valuable solutions to today's challenges that will inspire, ignite, and invigorate new and seasoned leaders to walk in their God-given authority with compassion, kindness, and empathy. So sit back, relax, and be prepared to be inspired with today's episode of Leadership Reality. Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership Realities with me, Taiji Charity. Today's guest is one of my WPO sisters, which means Women Presidents Organization. Lindsey Carnett, y'all. Whoop, whoop. Lindsey is the CEO of Marketing Maven, a globally recognized marketing and PR leader who amplifies work-life balance as both a dedicated mother and a successful executive. She's got to teach us how. She has received numerous accolades, including the 2022 Entrepreneur of the Year Award from the West Ventura County Business Alliance. In 2021, she received the Under 40 from the Conejo Valley Chamber and 2019 Enterprising Woman Award. Lindsey has been featured in Forbes, Glamour, and Cosmopolitan magazine. She is also a Barnes & Noble bestseller for her book, The Marketing Maven Method. She is a graduate of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program, a member of Vistage, Women's Presidents Organization, and W-Force. Lindsey serves on various boards, including California Lutheran University, and her business holds quite a few certifications, further solidifying her leadership credentials. Lindsey, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Ooh, girl, you got some accomplishments under your belt.
Thanks.
I love it. And congratulations, Forbes, 40 under 40.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, you doing the thing.
Thanks.
Marketing genius. We were talking before the show, and I called her business the Maverick, but it is Marketing Maven.
Yes.
I love it. Well, welcome again to the show.
Thank you.
I'm happy you said yes.
I'm happy to be here at your studio. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You've been hearing me talk about it for a minute because
I have.
We're in the Women's President Organization together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've been hearing me talk about how am I going to get the money to pay for a studio? But here we are.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Now about you. Tell me, Lindsey, when did you first realize you were a leader?
Well, my leadership, I've had leadership development training. I was part of ASB, the Associated Student Body, growing up in elementary school.
Oh.
And so I loved doing the leadership training, and I was in Girl Scouts, and then I was a captain
I was a Girl Scout
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I was a brownie and then a junior.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
Girl Scouts promise.
Yes. Right?
So yeah. So I like motivating teams and having everybody succeed together, and that's I never knew I would be a CEO, but I like being able to have a goal and then have everybody achieve the goal together.
Wow. I love it. And that's a good sign of a leader. So tell me this, though, CEO of Marketing Maven. That's your organization. That's your company. You founded it. Can you tell us the journey of starting it?
Sure. I started it during the middle of the recession. I had been a marketing executive.
2008, 2009?
2009. Yes. In the spare bedroom of my home. And I was 26 years old. And it was the, TV tray, laptop, my lab hitting her tail against my little TV tray with my computer on it.
Right.
And just got my first client, then got my next client, and I had so many people in my home. My husband said, "What are all these people doing in our house? So who are all these people?" And so I had interns, I had all sorts of people working for me over this period of time. And he's like, I think you need to get an office. So I got my first office when I was 27, and it was a great, it's been a really great journey.
That's amazing. How many team members do you have?
Currently 10.
Okay. Love it. And you started with interns, and you kind of grew into hiring your team.
Yes.
Why marketing? What was it about marketing?
I think, like I said, I played soccer when I was little, and I learned about fundraising. You'll appreciate this from a nonprofit standpoint.
Okay.
I went to China with some of my best friends to represent Washington State, and we played against girls from the Chinese national soccer team who were training to be, Olympic soccer players. And we had a fundraise, and so I contacted the local newspaper and I said, hey, my friends and I are planning a trip to China. We're going to be having a car wash, and we're accepting donations, and here's the address. And then checks started rolling in after they did this story. And I was like,
are you serious?
Wow, this is the power of media. Wow. So I didn't really put two and two together of like, okay, that's the marketing piece. But from an entrepreneurial standpoint, also when I was little, I would go to the grocery store with my mom, and she would say, okay, Lindsey, you could pick out inventory for your restaurant, because I had Lindsey and Philip's Cafe.
Okay.
And I made a menu, and I took it around my cul-de-sac, and I'm like, hi, do you want to buy some mint tea? And I would
That's the Girl Scout in you, selling those Girl Scout cookies,
I learned
right?
how to sell Girl Scout cookies, absolutely. So I was always a little bit entrepreneurial, but marketing for me I was able to take knowledge in a particular subject and then get people to take action. And that part for me, when I went to college, I studied biochemistry initially.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to go work at Amgen. I went to Cal Lutheran. I played soccer. I was going to be a biochemistry major and go work at Amgen, find the cure for cancer.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I'm very social, and my parents are like, well, we really never saw you in labs by yourself. but I changed over to marketing because I could take very detailed information and then broadcast it to the different audiences in a way that people would actually understand.
Amazing. What have been
full circle?
Right?
Yeah.
What have been some of your challenges with building? I know you're on the other side. You're a successful company now. You're thriving. But what was it like building along the way for you?
Yeah, I mean, every step up there, it's like one step forward, two steps back. 3 steps forward, two steps back.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So
right?
every point that you grow, it takes a lot out of you.
Yes.
Because you could either have too many employees and not enough clients, or you have too many clients and not enough employees. And we're a service-based business, and so just to really understand the metrics around everything, like what is the percentage utilization per employee, and what are my key performance indicators that would help me know, should I make another hire? Should I try another service offering? Because when I started, we just did PR.
Okay.
Then we added social media marketing, digital advertising, influencer marketing, market research, and now we turned this into, a lot of steps and a method and everything. Right. But it takes a lot to say, okay, now we're going to do social media marketing. What are our processes? Who's on the social media team? What type of accounts are we taking on? So the journey's been, and I'm always the youngest person in the room. Today I'm 41 and we've been in business for 15 years, so it's a little bit different. But starting out 26, and I would be talking to mostly men who are in their 50s and 60s.
Yes.
And they're like, you're the same age as my daughter who's in college. Like, why should I pay you, And then it took a while to get all my case studies and show all the proof and say, well, if you want to make money, I'm going to help you make money. And then
you know what? That's
money
the language
talks.
right there. That's when you start talking about making money, everybody's ears goes up, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So being the youngest person in the room, what did it feel like though? I mean, were you nervous? Did you feel confident because you had the data?
I knew my stuff, but there's always all right, what is this person what are their preconceived notions when I walk into the room? So if I'm aware of that, then I could, prepare. I feel like as women, we have to prepare more a lot of times because somebody else could say something and they're like, oh, I love that idea. And I'm like, I just said the same thing 2 minutes ago.
Girl, that has happened to me more times than I care to even count, especially when I worked in the corporate world.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they put a little spice on what I said, and now
Right.
it was theirs.
Right.
Oh, that's how this works. Okay.
And sometimes you have to plant the seed and make it their idea. And they're like, well, why don't we do this? And we're like, wow, what a great idea.
Brilliant.
I would have never thought of that. But the thing is, you already planted the seed. They just took the ball and ran with it.
Right.
That's fine. You get to the same goal.
Right.
But, you know, that stuff, you got to check your ego at the door.
Absolutely.
And just know, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. There are a lot of ways, a lot of paths to get to this outcome. As long as, you know, I know how to make it happen.
Right.
And I can understand what this person's motivated by and what they're trying to achieve, and I can help them get there, then I have to be flexible.
I want to unpack that even a little more. How do you determine the motivation of someone else? Like, how do you, even when you walk in the room and you're like, I got to know, I'm trying to figure out what these preconceived ideas are. What is your method for being able to kind of figure that out?
Well, I think just building rapport and figure out, you know, sometimes like with one person, the guy's son was trying to play basketball at college, and I'm like, oh, I have a friend that has a college recruiting app, and I can, you know, like if there's some other thing that's valuable to them, like work fine, like whatever happens there. But this guy's son, he wanted to play basketball at a college, and I'm like, well, I got a connection to the guy who has all the recruiting connections, so I'll be happy to introduce you. And he's like, you're my favorite, you know?
There you go. It's making those connections and knowing how to make those connections.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I do research ahead of time too.
Yeah, of
so I
course.
look on LinkedIn, I see, do we have common connections? Did they play a sport in college? Do they have certain interests, like different nonprofits that they support? Or what are they, who else are they connected with that I'm connected with? And what does that mutual connection mean to them?
How much time does that take to really prepare?
Now super fast. I've become very, very fast
Efficient
at it. Yeah, but before, like I mean, you have to do your due diligence. And I also will look and see too, like from a reputation management perspective, do they have any skeletons in the closet that maybe don't come up in the meeting? And then I would throw something up like, okay, well, you know, if you do this, it also has additional benefits from a reputation management perspective. So if there were anything negative, then we could suppress that, and then all of these positive things rise to the top without saying, I know you had an issue with blah, 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 because I found it. And, you know, that sort of thing.
I absolutely love it. And your team around you, you are basically, I'm assuming you've trained them to sort of follow that same path when they're working with clients and things like that, right?
Yeah, so we have to be very data driven. So we are looking at, like if we're looking at somebody's social media, we would see, okay, they've been, you know, active on this platform, they've not been active on this platform. What are things that they should be improving upon? And or we'll look at their website and say, wow, they are missing the boat on all of these sections. They're doing okay at this. But if we can come to the table with recommendations of how we would make it better, then it's not saying, you know, let us do this for you. It's you have a really concrete reason why. And if you know what their competitors are doing, then everybody wants to have a little competition.
Yeah.
So if you can say, we notice that your competitors have this, you don't, you know, to be here, you should do this. Or even like, just to be like ADA compliant in your website or something like that. Like you want to make sure that it's something that could be a pain point or could be a really big point to put them over the top for success.
Right. I know I got some nuggets when I came to your workshop you did out in, where were we? Santa Monica?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much information. Like I don't have a marketing brain, but it was just some things that I had not even realized. And I was so fortunate that you all took just a second to kind of glimpse through our website of Kids in the Spotlight. And I was like, okay, we got to revamp our whole website. But just so many nuggets and things that we just don't think about. Because for me, it's about, you know, the information is there. I want you to know who we are. I want you to know who's behind it. And then boom, there we go. But there are so many intricate details in telling your story and having it out for the public to actually consume and engage, I should say, because that's what we really want.
Yep.
We want it to be engaging to those who are viewing, and we want a call to action on our website, right? Whether you're selling products, whether you are soliciting support, getting people to champion around a cause, whatever it is, you are trying to have that call to action. So one of the things I learned was our pop-up screen. We had a pop-up screen, and you was like, wait a minute, y'all want people to subscribe? They don't know you yet. And I was like, oh, that's a very valid point. So I appreciate just what I learned by attending your class.
Thanks.
But then tell me now, with your team, are they younger, or you got people that are just starting out from school? Or
well, they're multi-generational. So I have somebody who is a boomer, and he has been doing PR for over 35 years. He's worked at Marketing Maven for over 9 years.
Okay.
And then I have a Gen X, we have millennials, we have Gen Z. The only people that we don't have is Alpha, and those are my kids.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, that's smart.
Yeah.
So you're able to tap into pretty much every generation.
Yes. I think there's more value.
Smart.
It's like bringing unique voices to the table.
Yes.
There is value in that for every company that we touch, because a lot of companies will have different demographics that they're looking to reach out to, whether it be just on the corporate side or whether it's consumer focused. And, I think it's the difference in voices brings more value to the companies that we work with.
Absolutely. Talk to me about team building. How do you invest in your team? I love the different generation of building the team and having some representation.
Yeah.
But how do you keep them motivated? How do you build the team?
Yeah. So we have outside consultants that come in and we call it Operation Underdog. Because,
I like that.
Yeah. We know, this is kind of like my perspective, like when I played collegiate soccer. I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest, but I will work the hardest, and I will be scrappy, and I don't have to have the beautiful goal. I will, if it has to hit off of my butt and go in the goal, guess what? It's a goal.
It's a goal.
Yeah. So the thing is, it doesn't have to be beautiful, but people want to root for the underdog, and so you have huge, multi-million, massive marketing companies out there. We're boutique, and so we want to know, okay, how do you get to the top? And I think the new stat with Dr. Pepper, they're now number 3. They were number 5.
Oh, wow.
So they're like the challenger brand. So we want to, and we work with companies that don't have Starbucks budgets.
Right.
But we have to be more creative, more nimble, better thinkers. And so Operation Underdog, we have these 2 consultants come in, and we have team meetings about working on the business, not in the business.
I like that.
So it's great. And we actually, each year we'll do a company retreat, and we play this glockenspiel and make up a song about Marketing Maven.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, we'll have we sing with the sheet music, and different people get the different notes, and we're not made up of musicians.
Right.
But you have the A, you have the B, I have the C, and you go ding, ding, ding.
We need the song for the show. That is so creative.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love the investment in the team, because, some companies, like you say, Starbucks, they have a bigger budget.
Yes.
And so they can use those funds to invest.
Yep.
When you're a smaller organization or a smaller company, you have to literally make a sacrifice to allocate those funds.
Yeah.
And for a nonprofit, we're looking for funders will you fund us to do, team building and wellness and things like that with our team. So I admire you for doing that. And apparently it's paying off, because you said one of your team members has been with you for 9 years.
Yeah, another one for over 13 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Which is hard to find. These days, it's there's the door.
Revolving door.
Yeah.
It's it can be a revolving door.
Yeah.
That's so good. I love that. So now, when you are doing these, when you're bringing in the consultants and you're doing the team buildings, do things come up sometimes that you all have to address, or is it just fun? You just really get to
working.
know each other? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll separate it out into, these are things overall goals for the year, and then we break them down and say, okay, these are very specific strategies, and then these are other areas. And so we might come up with, okay, we need time to have really detailed debriefs after calls, because we can't just have call, and then we need to like huddle up, make a strategy, and then have these discussions after. So there are a lot of things that will come up that I will miss as the CEO, because I'm like, all right, big picture, big vision,
Absolutely.
we're going this way, blah, 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 blah. And then there's like more detailed pieces, and they're like, well, I need more time to prep for this, or I would like this to be a process. And I'm like, okay, great. So let's put it in as a process. And so this is really how we've refined our system by really focusing on this. And this has been a thing that we've been doing over the last 4 or 5 years is this process. And we have it's a dashboard actually. And we evaluate ourselves, like self-evaluation is huge. In terms of, how is our organizational planning, and how is our, every piece that makes, it's like a SWOT analysis. I showed this to a big M&A guy, and he was like, this is good.
Pretty
and
cool.
I go,
So
like,
each team member sort of, you say, really kind of evaluate and assess their. And so what happens when one evaluate themselves differently than how you see them?
Then we have a discussion about it and say, how did you get to this? I got to this. And, it might be misaligned expectations, or the definition is not clear, or not sufficient training has been provided. Like the training, that could be an area that we say, okay, well, we really need to double down on this because there seems to be some confusion. So it lets us really iron out all of our kinks and provides a very safe space for everybody to be able to say, hey, I didn't really get this part. And then they're not like living in fear or silence by themselves. And I think that is when you have a disengaged employee, then all the red flags should go up. Like, why are they being so quiet? And why are they not raising their hand and participating and contributing new ideas? And so I think if people feel very psychologically safe to contribute ideas and, are excited by the same things, then even so far as what categories of clients would you be really excited to be representing right now? Because we touch so many verticals. So if we can, like we're working with the American Cancer Society right now and doing Relay for Life, Conejo Valley, and just made a partnership with the Ventura County Football Club.
Nice.
And got to highlight one of my friends whose daughter has childhood cancer. And like, we put this beautiful thing together to help this really special cause. And so the team can get behind that and say, wow, I am really doing good work.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily individually have their own clients. They all kind of collaborate on the clients that you are bringing together, or does each team member go out and find new clients that you collaborate? How does it work?
So we get a lot of inbound clients that come in, and so those are, we have to decide, okay, do they fit our company values? This has been another big transformation over the last 15 years. Year one, you're like, oh, good, they want to work with me. We'll take them. Like anybody who walks through the door, perfect.
Absolutely.
Come on in. But then you start having this lens of, okay, does this client have a growth mindset? I fired a $300,000 a year client.
Are you serious?
Because he was so rude to my staff. So rude.
Good for you.
Unacceptable.
I know that's right.
Yeah,
Good
it is,
for
but
you.
it's a hard financial decision, but
I'm
it's
sure.
a great human decision.
I know that's right. Girl, hold on. Let me sip to this because you're dropping so many. I love that. Great financial decision. Horrible in terms of financial decision, but a great human.
It was a great human decision.
Wow.
And actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
So if you put your money where your mouth is and say, we do not tolerate this.
Yes.
We do not accept this. If you're going to be that way, you are not our client.
Wow.
So that's a really hard line to draw in the sand.
Absolutely.
But if you don't follow it with your staff, with your vendors, with your clients, then you aren't authentic to who you say you are.
Yes.
So it's
so
a
good.
very
That's so good.
We have it in all of the meetings and everything, and we recognize our staff for these core values of growth mindset, futuristic, and mind share, actively sharing information, and lastly, client-centric. So it's not about our agenda, it's about our client's agenda. If they say they want to focus on this, that's the focus.
I love it. No wonder you're so successful. I mean, that sounds like the recipe for a successful business. But I still want to buckle down just to find out. So, but does each individual work on their own?
No,
So
everything's
it is
team.
everything is team. Okay,
Depending
so I
on what the services are.
That.
So for example, if somebody has us build a website and then we're doing digital marketing for them and then we're doing PR for them, then the people that have those job functions would focus on that campaign.
Okay.
And then there would be one person who is the lead, the primary point of contact for the client.
Got it.
So, and we've perfected our internal onboarding. So we'll sign on a new client. We'll be really clear about what the services are. And then we'll have our internal onboarding. And then we have our client kickoff meeting. And then we have our back and forth with the individual who's the account lead.
Okay.
And the people that are part of the team will join the biweekly call with the client.
Wow.
And contribute their pieces.
How many accounts do you have? Do you even know? Like how many customers do your company have? How many are you managing right now?
It's over 20.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah, and it's different sizes too. I mean, some people were their whole entire outsourced marketing team. Okay. So we'll have 8 people working on their account because we're doing award submissions, speaking engagements, blogs, website, PR, social media marketing, digital advertising. Like they're doing the whole enchilada versus for somebody else, we might be just doing their PR and we've done their PR for the last 6 years.
Okay.
And that's what they do with us. And sometimes they'll have us do, one extra thing or
just social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So it could be a la carte. So, and it really depends too on what the internal structure is with their organization. So sometimes, they will have a marketing point of contact for us. Sometimes we'll work with the CEO. Okay. Depends what the project is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is so good. I almost want to make this personal about the Kids Production Studio, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep it at leadership realities right now. So I want to know, what are some of just for you as an individual, I know we kind of touched on it, but what have been some of the things that have been your guidance, like, or leaders that you kind of poured into you?
Yeah.
Like, who have those people been? Where are you getting all of this amazing energy and information? Is it just sort of because of the love for the business, or do you have somebody in leadership who you admire and sort of model after?
I do. I mean, I have been really fortunate to have had really great coaches every step of the way. And so my soccer coaches have been team builders, team uniters, not, dividers. Yeah. And so I just think of even my soccer coach in college. I remember him saying, like, I went to Cal Lutheran, we'd run up to the cross on the first day, just with our shoes, run up to the cross up there. There's like traditions that you would do. And then he's like, never again are you going to be in the same place at the same time with the same team. You guys are going to go in different directions. Next year it's going to be different. The chemistry will change, that sort of thing. And so I think it makes you appreciate the moment of everybody who's on your team and have value for every single person. You are here because you are meant to be here. You are here because you're meant to be here. And what we have, our team chemistry today, is so special and so unique that it's going to change a year from now. It will be different. Yes. Something will happen in somebody's life, and that's okay. But appreciate the people that you are here with, working with at this time, at this place in your life. And that has resonated with me for a very long time.
Being intentional about your relationships.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. And I think having coaches and mentors along the way is so important. Yeah. Because we do need others. Sometimes you can be self-sufficient and you can be independent, but having people sort of invest in you that have lived, have lived a little bit in life that can impart wisdom into you.
My dad's another one that he's not so much coached me, but I've gotten to observe him.
Yeah.
And
is he in marketing?
No, he's a psychologist.
Oh.
So
okay.
he has exited his business now, and so I've gotten to see, from the time I was a very little girl through, being in my 40s, and so he exited his business 4 years ago, but to see him grow it and ups and downs, and you get to see all the journeys, so it doesn't feel like I'm a failure this month and I'm a failure next month, and it's just, that's how it goes. It's like the stock market. It's like if you watched your 401k every day, I mean, that's why people are
crazy.
Yeah. So you should not be looking at that every day. That's why they look over periods of time and what the growth percentages are. And that's how I look at my business too. It's okay if this month's not great, because the next 3 months are going to be awesome. And then you build systems and you grow.
Yes. That's so good. That's such a good way to look at it. Because if I'm looking at a month and it looks scary, I'm falling apart. Oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But no, but that's part of being a CEO too. You have to have that bird's eye view. You're looking at the future. You're strategizing for the next month and the month after next, and building in the longevity and a plan for the longevity. How would your team describe you? I know we have to wrap it up, and I hate having to wrap it up. But how would your team describe you as a leader?
I think energetic.
Yes.
I definitely have a lot of energy.
I love it. We right here together on that, girl.
Yeah. And I think motivational and driven. I mean, no is a challenge for me. Like, you told me no? I think we could do this.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm working on that, because that's where I am different. You tell me no, I'm like, bye, I'm out, But you can't in the business that we're in. You really do have to take those no's as a not right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how I'm trying to look at it. That no meant not right now, Taiji.
Yeah.
But no has been really, 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 and I've had enough of them to be, to have tough skin.
Yeah.
But it still gets me every single time. I'm like, oh, I felt that.
Yeah, I think to be creative about, okay, there are a lot of doors, and this is true we're a government contractor. You can't just go in one door.
Right.
There's lots of doors.
Absolutely.
And so if you can have a way in through another door, through another relationship that you have, or you can think of something else that would be beneficial to them, because things change, and I'll follow up with somebody a year later. If somebody came back, I talked to them in 2021,
too, right?
And they came back in 2024, and they're like, we're ready now.
Best feeling ever. It is that when you have that no, and that no later turns into a yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I didn't just close the door all the way, because my feelings were hurt. But I absolutely.
Yeah, always keep the door open.
Yes. There was one no I got that I was like, it was such a hard no. I'm like, I'm still kind of licking my wounds from that one. But yes.
Yeah.
Keep the door open.
Yeah.
I love that. Lindsey, it's always fun hanging with you, even at our WPO meetings. I mean, you just bring so much energy, so much knowledge, and I am trying to learn all we can just from, being in your company, because marketing you have to have that brain. You have to know how to really strategize and really make those connections for marketing. And it's a foreign language for me, but we're learning.
I think you're pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we go, tell us about your book, because we want to make sure we talk about that just for a second.
Yes. So my book is called The Marketing Maven Method.
Yes.
Secrets of a Maven. And it starts with Insights 360, which is the market research, then Strategy 360, which is developing out a whole marketing blueprint roadmap, and then Implementation, which is PR, website, SEO, social media, influencer marketing, event marketing. So all of the things where the rubber hits the road.
Love it. So if somebody wanted to hire Marketing Maven, what would they do?
They could go to marketingmaven.com. Okay. And if you want to get the book, it's at themarketingmavenmethod.com.
Okay, Miss Barnes & Noble bestseller. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our show today. I hope that you have gained some nuggets today about marketing, and not just marketing, but leadership and being a CEO and building a team, because Lindsey definitely shared some amazing gems with us today. So thank you again for tuning in, and remember those 3 magical words: like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. I hope you were inspired and you gained some valuable nuggets that will help you to become a better leader and to walk in your God-given authority. Bye. Until next time.